The sea can take many things. It can take a small boat. It can take a life. It can take answers. In the vast blue of the Pacific Ocean, stories are born and secrets are buried. This is the story of a ship that gave up its people, but not itself. In 1955, a vessel named the MV Joyita sailed away with 25 souls aboard. It was a sturdy ship, built to last. Many who knew her believed she was special. They called her unsinkable. But something went terribly wrong on that final voyage. The ship was lost. The people were lost. The ocean held them close and said nothing. 5 long weeks passed. The world moved on. Hope began to fade, as it often does when the sea is involved. Then a sighting. The Joyita was found. The story begins on a calm morning. It was October 3rd, 1955. The MV Joyita was docked in Apia, the main port of Samoa. She was a merchant vessel, a workhorse of the South Pacific, built in 1931 as a luxury yacht, and she had served in the Second World War. Strong and lined with cork, this buoyancy was the source of her unsinkable reputation. On this day, she prepared for a familiar run, about 270 miles to the Tokelau Islands. A simple trip, a safe plan, 2 days at most. Captain Thomas Dusty Miller knew these waters well. A doctor, a government official, and local islanders returned home aboard. There were medical supplies, timber, and empty oil drums, a routine manifest. The Joyita slipped from the dock into calm water as families waved goodbye, expecting good news in a couple of days. Her radio had issues, only one frequency working, but in these islands that wasn't alarming. A capable crew, a sound ship. There was no reason to think this voyage different from any other. But the Joyita sailed away from the world of the known into a void. 2 days came and went. No word of arrival reached Samoa. Delays were common, radios weak, maybe an engine issue. Days became a week. The routine voyage had become a silent disappearance. The search for the MV Joyita was one of the largest in the South Pacific. For weeks, aircraft and ships crisscrossed the ocean looking for debris, a lifeboat, any trace. They found nothing. Then, 5 weeks later, the impossible. A ship drifting aimlessly, 600 miles west of the Joyita's route. Its deck leaned dangerously. As they closed, the name appeared: Joyita. Relief turned to dread. The ship was utterly empty. Water sloshed below. The deckhouse was damaged. Yet the hull still floated, unsinkable in its way. No one at the wheel, no one in the cabins, no one in the water. 25 men, women, and children. Gone. Names echoed down empty halls. Only water and wood answered back. A vessel without a soul. Why abandon a ship that refused to sink? The mystery had only just begun. Investigators combed the silent ship as a crime scene. Contradictions, signs of panic, signs of calm, hints of sudden departure. The logbook, sextant, and chronometer, gone, as if for a planned evacuation. Yet below, a scene frozen mid-action, a crisis interrupted routine. The radio tuned to SOS, but a broken, long-painted aerial meant no call for help. All clocks read 10:25. Lights and fans still whirred. Small blood stains. Someone was hurt, but not gravely, it seemed. A broken pipe flooded the bilges. Damage, but not catastrophic. The pumps should have coped, yet they didn't run. A silent scream of clues, pointing everywhere and nowhere. One clue was what wasn't there. All 4 life rafts were gone. Near certainty, they left the ship deliberately. Not washed overboard, not a rogue sweep. A conscious evacuation. Rafts lowered, people climbed in. They abandoned an unsinkable ship for small rafts. A desperate act. Something on board must have been more terrifying than the open sea. Perhaps a violent list and rising water in darkness led to panic. Everyone mustered, including the children. They hoped to be found, but no trace of rafts or occupants was ever seen. 4 rafts, 25 people, and nothing. Even debris should have surfaced. The absence suggests a terrible fate. They exchanged one vessel for another and sailed into oblivion. Reconstructing the final hours is speculation, guided by clues. It begins the second night, far from any shore. A fractured pipe filled the engine room with choking steam. Water gathered low, the ship leaned. The working engine failed. Adrift and taking water, Captain Miller faced a terrible choice. With no radio, growing list, and ominous sounds below, fear swelled. 10:25. Perhaps the generator failed and clocks froze. The passengers look to the captain. The order is given. The crew guides women first, then children. After 10:25, under a dark sky, 25 people left the Joyita. Their unsinkable ship slipped into the gloom without them. A leading theory: mechanical failure and human panic. Known facts: fractured pipe, flooded engine room, missing rafts, suggest cascading small disasters. Pumps may have failed, blockage or electrical issues. The tilt and the darkness magnified every sound, every dread. No call for help. The ship felt increasingly unstable. Signs of injury and a medical emergency could have spurred the decision. Facing what seemed certain sinking, Miller ordered abandonment. They left a damaged but buoyant ship. Lost at sea, exposure, thirst, and drowning would follow. And the ocean kept its silence. Some clues hint at darker theories: mutiny, piracy, foul play. Instruments and firearms absent, perhaps to disarm the captain. The bandages could reflect violence, not accident. One side may have forced the other off the ship, or all fled after a struggle. But investigators found no bullet holes, no widespread damage. Others suspect outside attackers, pirates operating in the region. Speculation spans fishing crews to lingering wartime forces. Attackers could have killed and disposed of victims, then left the Joyita to drift. Yet evidence is thin. The scene reads as hurried departure, not combat. The shadow of human action remains, without substance. Beyond failures and conflicts lies nature's strangeness. A freak wave could have battered the engine room, injured crew, and swept gear or people overboard. Panic in the aftermath might explain a sudden abandonment. Others cite waterspouts or disorienting conditions that cripple judgment. In the void, imagination offers monsters, ghosts, even abduction. Such phenomena leave no signature. They come and go. What we do know: something terrified 25 people off their ship. Pipe, mutiny, or monster wave. Different triggers, same result. The people were taken by the sea, and the ship remained to haunt us. The MV Joyita was towed back, repaired, sold, and sold again, its name forever stained. A ship people whispered about, a ship that carried the memory of 25 lost souls. Broken up in the 1970s, the hull is gone, the story still floats. A perfect mystery, enough clues for debate, never enough for truth. Each piece, interpretable in many ways. Too many missing pieces. No bodies recovered, no raft debris, no confessions, only silence. We imagine the fear, the water climbing, the children's cries. Desperate hands launch rafts, hope for dawn. The Joyita fades behind them. The ship was found, the truth was not. What do you believe happened in the dark?